If you want to learn how to complete a complex cityscape in watercolor, then you need to watch this video. Well, hello watercolor artists. Today we're going to be working on a street scene of Istanbul, and this is in front of the Grand Market. And I thought this was a funny picture. Here's the reference photograph because you've got a couple ladies all looking at their cell phones, not paying attention to the beautiful surroundings. So I thought this would be kind of fun to paint today. And I already started this in my advanced watercolor class. I'm not using a lot of different colors. Today I'm going to be using Winsor Newton Lemon Yellow, which is a very bright yellow color. I'm using some Holbein Lavender, which is very opaque, kind of bluish, almost purplish color in some ways. Daniel Smith Imperial Purple, which is a really nice non-staining purple color. And also Daniel Smith's Rose of Ultramarine, which is also a purple color too, but it's not staining either. So I'm basically working with opposites. I'm working with purples and my yellows today. You can see that with some gray down colors. And I'll be continuing to build up the depth in this painting. So that's what I'll be working on right now. So for this painting today, I'll be working with the colors I mentioned beforehand. We're working basically with opposites on the color wheel. We've got yellows, we've got purples, and I'm going to go back and forth. And I'm constantly changing my color temperature in the mixture. I'm graying all these colors down, so I'm mixing lots of things together. And with that beautiful gray mixture, what I do is I go back and forth between warm versus cool, add a little bit more of the Winsor yellow. I'll drop some of the lavender into it. If I want to make it warmer again, I'll go back to Rose of Ultramarine, which is another Daniel Smith color that I love to use. And I'm going back and I'm starting to work on the people in the background. And it's I'm trying not to paint everything. I'm leaving some highlights. The sun is coming from the upper left-hand corner here, as you can see by the shadows. And so you've got to keep that light source consistent and the same throughout the entire painting. Now, in the background, I, of course, don't want to make things too dark. And what I'm doing is I'm just kind of filling in shapes of people. It doesn't really render, it doesn't even look like really people, but your mind renders it as people later because of the shapes. And we know juxtaposed against the mosque in the background. And you can see here, I'm just mixing up more color on my palette. I'm getting several puddles. One thing I try to do too when I paint is if I catch myself doing the same color too much, what I'll do is I'll skip to another section of the painting with the same color. Then I'll go back to another section of the painting with a little bit of a different color. And what this does is it doesn't create repetition. It's not the exact same throughout the entire painting, but I'm using the same colors so it doesn't conflict with the colors I am using. And one of the things, too, I have to be aware of with this painting is that the lady in the foreground is going to be one of the darkest objects in the painting. I can't make anything in the background as dark as the lady in the foreground, and that's because of atmospheric perspective. The closer objects get to you, the more contrast they're going to have and the darker they're going to be. If you make pure black in the background, it's going to mess up that perspective. So you can't do that. Everything in the background has to be one less. And now what I'm doing is I'm coming into here and I'm working on the details for the mosque in the background. Not trying to get too detailed or too dark. I'm just dropping in some ideas for shapes. And I'm starting to work on the baby stroller in the foreground also. One of the ladies on her cell phone. And here's a close-up of the picture halfway through that after that dried. And now we've gone back to so painted the lady on the right-hand side. Forgot to hit record on that, my apologies. And now I'm just working on the details. I'm putting the sunglasses on the top of her head, just the little lines, switching to a smaller brush. And details and details. There's no point in doing all the details in the very beginning. Do it at the very end, because if you just screw everything up, you don't want to spend an hour painting this lady just to mess the whole thing up. So I work on the smaller shapes, and then the most important shapes in the foreground. They're going to have the most detail, of course. And then I am almost finished with this painting. So thank you very much for watching this painting demonstration. If you got any questions, please send me messages on YouTube comments. And here is the completed painting. If you like this content, hit subscribe. I'll have more watercolor tutorials in the future. Thanks a lot and happy painting.